So I think the Corporate Manslaughter Act came in, was it 2008, around that time? I was the ITM chairman at the time, the trade body for travel managers, and it rocketed. I was a buyer as well, and I was so fearful of I was going to end up in jail because I hadn't done something in my program. That's how it sort of got positioned in the beginning. So there were a lot of travel buyers, and I was one of them, running scared at the time of, oh my God, like I need to do something quick here, and I don't think the press particularly helped that. And then that settled down, but it made sense. So yes, it was scaremongering, but it made complete sense. As a responsible employer, you would put in good duty of care practices, and then companies, no doubt like your own, really came to the forefront and said, absolutely, yes, we can be there to help you. So I've seen at that point, all mid to big companies, I would say, started to embrace duty of care. If I look at the companies that I work with now, and in addition to what we've all just spoken about, it just feels like a given. Now, I mainly work with mid to large size companies, so I'd be really interested to hear what Clive thinks from a small to medium. Every time we go in and we do strategy work with them, the base question we always start with, and it's a really interesting one for you to think about for your own companies actually, is what's more important to you, the money or your people? Now, it's a trick question, right? Because you're immediately going to go, well, of course, the people. And as soon as you say that, if you think, it depends what role you've got in your company, but you're immediately going to go, hang on a minute, because the money is important as well. And unless you are the CEO of an organisation or the owner of an organisation, you're not able to answer that question. And what we find when we work with these mid to big companies, they don't have a standard answer. No one can answer which is more important. Now, ultimately, in every company, it's just a balance, right? There are some companies who are going to invest a load more than others that are on lower margins. But where we always think travel strategy needs to start from is understanding that balance, because until you understand that balance, whether it's there or there or there, you can't then build the right program moving forwards.
Yeah.
And I was with a CEO of a very big law firm recently, and he almost laughed me out the room and said, like, why would you even ask me that question? Because it's fundamental, and unless we know the answer to that question, then we can't build the program correctly. And he just looked me dead in the eye and was like, well, of course it's the employee. And I said, okay, do we want to talk about cost? And he went, I'll talk about cost, but at what cost? If I lose a lawyer, or if a lawyer's unproductive, to pick your point up, or if a lawyer gets injured, or just think of that issue for me when my lawyers are my business. I have nothing unless I have my lawyers, which I thought was such an amazing point to hear right from the top. But his leaders couldn't articulate that. So it was a really important something like, okay, now we know where we're starting from. What we build out as a travel program and a traveller safety program all is going to stem from that very strong guidance. I wouldn't say I get that stronger guidance from lots of other CEOs I spend time with, but we push them to make sure that we know where that balance sits.